Let's talk a little bit about my new favorite vlogging lens, the Samyang AF 12mm f2.0 for the E-mount Sony APS-C sensors. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on my channel. In today's episode I'm going to talk about a new lens that I bought recently for my Sony E-mount system, for my Sony ZV-E10 precisely. If you like videos about filmmaking, photography, gears, reviews and so on, please subscribe to my channel, that's a massive help, and hit the like button under this video. The Samyang lens came in this pouch. It's a hard case one, it's very protective. Normally I don't like the cases that come with the lenses, but with the Samyang this one is really nice. I carry it with me in my backpack all the time, and I can put the micro inside, the video micro from Rode. It's protected. I don't worry about it if I drop it or anything else, so that's a good thing for the Samyang lens. The lens is really nice. It's quite short, it's about 5.9 centimeters long. It has a big focus ring, which is really helpful if you want to do some manual focusing for your photography or videography. That's really handy. I really like it. The lens weighs about 213 grams. It's lightweight. With the Sony ZV-E10 and the ZHIYUN Crane M3, they make the perfect match. I can vlog with them almost all the day without getting tired, without having any problems due to the weight of the system of the rig that I'm using. It's really lightweight and I highly recommend these kind of lenses for vlogging and for daily use. Being compact and lightweight, this rig, the Sony ZV-E10 and the Samyang 12mm, so I can use the suction cup from Ulanzi with the magic arm from small rig that I have, and I can film the headshots from the car directly without risking anything, without risking that the camera will fall out due to the weight. This is a really lightweight system that I really recommend it also. This lens has a wide aperture of 2.0, which is really helpful for vlogging in order to separate the subject from the background and make the viewer more concentrated on what's more important in the video rather than being concentrated on what's happening in the background. So this lens is really a great deal for vloggers and for filmmakers and maybe for astrophotographers, since it's 12mm, which is really nice also for astrophotography. This lens has a wide field of view, so you can vlog at arm length without any problem and everything will fit inside your frame. It's a 12mm on APS-C sensor, which is equivalent to 18mm on a full frame. With active stab on the Sony ZV-E10, which crops a lot on the image, you can reach about 22 to 24mm equivalent to full frame, which is the right focal length for vlogging. Even if it's 12mm, it's not a fisheye lens, so don't worry about the distortion on the corners of the image. We won't have any distortion. It's equivalent to 22-24mm when active stab is on the Sony ZV-E10. That's really perfect for vlogging. This is what it looks like vlogging with the Sony ZV-E10, the Samyang 12mm and the ZHIYUN Crane M3. The active stabilization is on the Sony ZV-E10, and now I'll turn it off to see the difference between the frames and how much the stabilization crops on the Sony ZV-E10. And now the active stabilization is off. You can see how much it cropped when the active stabilization is on the Sony ZV-E10, and now the field of view is much wider, which is very pleasant for vlogging. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, that's a massive help for me. Don't forget also to put a like under this video, that's a really massive help. Don't forget also to share this video around, that might help some of your friends in order to decide whether they want to buy this lens or not. Let's talk a little bit about the autofocus of this lens. It has a linear step motor autofocus system, which is really silent also. That's a good point for vlogging and for filmmaking with this camera and lens. I really loved it. It's really accurate, always on point, never missed any of my footages because of bad autofocus or something like that. It's really good. I really like it, and it focuses for 19 centimeters for some close-ups in vlogging and in filmmaking. That's really nice to have. So 19 centimeters, the closest focusing distance, that's perfect also. The lens is weather sealed, but I don't feel comfortable to use it in heavy rains. Well, I don't use any of my gears in heavy rains. I might use it in a spa or something like that, but not in a heavy rainy day. The price of this lens is about 400 euros or a little bit more. I found a special deal when I bought it for less than 300 euros. I was hesitating between this Samyang F 2.0 12 millimeters, or the Sony 11 millimeters f1.8, which is a great lens also, but it was sold at about more than 700 euros, more than double the price of this one. It's a cheap lens, very well built, and does the job that I wanted to be done. So I'm really satisfied with this one. I don't regret getting this one instead of the Sony lens, even if the Sony is an amazing lens also. Of course, I could have bought the wide angle lens from Ulanzi, the WL3, that fits on the kit lens that comes with the Sony ZV-E10, the 16 to 50 millimeters, but then the lens will be heavier. The front element of the camera will be heavier. The main lens, the kit lens with the Ulanzi on top of it, it will be heavier, front heavier. It won't be easy to calibrate it on a gimbal. It won't be easy to hand hold it. The weight will be more to the front of the camera. It's not really pleasant to have it when we use it a lot. So that's why I got the lens itself, because I'll put it on the camera for mostly all the time. I won't be using the kit lens on the camera, so that's my lens to go with this camera. Samyang made two versions of this lens. For the E-mount, this one that I have here, and for the X-mount, for Fuji X-mount systems. I didn't get the one for the Fuji because I have the Viltrox 13mm, which is an equivalent focal lens almost. It has a wider aperture for 1.4. I use it mainly for my home studio videos that you can check on my previous videos on this channel. I talked about it. It's really an amazing lens, but it's bigger, it's longer, and it's heavier. So it's not for vlogging for me, even if it's 13mm, but it's not for vlogging. It's really heavy and bigger and wider. So the Viltrox also takes much space in the bag, comparing to the Sony ZV-E10 with the 12mm on top of it. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit like under this video. That's a massive help. And I see you on another video. Ciao.